Hi, this is Mary Grace, and I would say floss tube number, but it's not a floss tube. It's a Montgomery County Fair update. And sometimes I wonder if that's what they all are. All of my YouTubes are prep for the Montgomery County Fair and what happened at the Montgomery County Fair. So that is what it is all about today. I was going to do a update before the fair and say, what do you think everything's going to get? But I got food poisoning, and then I got an allergic reaction, and I just barely got all my entries in. Actually, I didn't. I did get all of my Baker Dozen entries in, and I got the participation ribbon. It's a really nice ribbon. It says, Baker's Dozen. And this year, to go with it, there was a 75th ribbon because it is the 75th year of the fair. And I got the t-shirt. Okay, my ribbon blends into my t-shirt a little bit, but I got the ribbons. I got the t-shirt. So this is the post-fair update because it just wasn't happening before the fair. And it had nothing to do with the hurricane that caused issues with the fair. It was all my own issues. So I'm not going to read you all of my Baker Dozen ribbon information as much as I think my YouTubes are more about the fair than not, because it's not floss related, but yet it's what I did this year. So the Baker's Dozen, you have to bake 2 cakes, 1 cheesecake, 2 candies, 2 cookies, 2 pies, 2 quick breads, 2 yeast breads. I'm very proud of my mother's cheesecake, got 2nd place in the flavored division. And they said, nice flavor, nice bake, a tad uneven on top, but yum. So I was really thrilled. There's like 3 different cheesecakes you can have. Cheesecake, then cheesecake with fruit, cheesecake something else, and then cheesecake flavored. So my mother's cheesecake, I made the one change. It was maple flavored because I love me a good theme, and I had this maple cookbook, which I did a lot of other things out of. So my mother was pleased. I was pleased. I actually got the cheesecake off the bottom thing and onto a paper plate without breaking it. I was so pleased about that. So mom's cheesecake got 2nd place. Found this cute little cookbook, and I love me a good theme. So of my 14 items, 12 of them were maple related. Out of this cookbook, I did do some practice cooks. Didn't practice cook everything, but I did practice cook a maple walnut pie, and that was one of my 1st place ribbons. And my kids liked it so much, they were horrified that they wouldn't get to have any of the pie when I cooked it for the fair, because you have to turn in a whole pie. So they're like, Mom. So I was like, fine. So I've got to make 13 things, but they wanted a pie. And my pie crust recipe always made for 2 pies, so therefore I had an extra pie crust that I also entered at the fair. And I actually got my honorable mention ribbon. I got all the ribbons first through honorable mention on various things. So the maple walnut pie was a winner, and I might make that some more in the future because everyone liked that. My maple pressed cookies also took 1st place. And these are the things I might do again next year. I'm not going to bake 13 things again next year, but I might make maple pressed cookies, because now that I've gotten the red rosette, I'd like to get one of the other awards. And unfortunately, I'm not quite good enough to get a purple one, because those are the best. It's beyond 1st place when you get a purple one. But I thought there's a Friend of the Fair award called for 6 cookies. And my pressed cookies went over rather well. And I saw this year's collection of cookies. It was 6 Christmas cookies. And I was thinking next year, I'll up the game on my pressed cookies a little bit. I'll actually dye the dough green. And then I was going to make flowers and maybe make one a bee, because the theme for next year's fair is Beeline to the Fair. I love me a good theme. If you watched last year's ribbons videos, owls everywhere. Okay, owls everywhere this year too. These are my other non-baked items, which is the reason why you all do watch my floss tube, or the thing I mostly do. I entered in the cross-stitch division. And my frogs here took third place. It was a little disappointing, mostly because there were no comments. That's one of the reasons I entered things in the fair, is for the comments. Like I read you the back of my other one, like this is the pressed cookies. She said, great taste, looks pretty, like the maple flavor. Great little comments. I don't know why it got third place. I mean, I kind of know. I looked at the first place one, and it had even more backstitching than mine did. And I know the key to getting a first place ribbon is backstitching. So I did include backstitching in this one. But beyond that, and I'll have to assume it's just like all the years, you know, twisted threads, whatever. So that one took third place. Back to love me a good theme, and my owls are my always theme. This is my cute little perforated paper, and it took first place in the Halloween ornament category. But again, there's no notation as to why it necessarily didn't get the purple rosette. For each division, there's the one that gets the purple rosette. I do know the person who was listening to the judges, they said they were giving it to ones that were bigger, and there were a few perforated papers that were bigger than this one, who also had the beads, and they were, because the main perforated person or designer is Hill Mill, so like everyone that's out there is a Hill Mill one, Mill Hill rather. That's how well you do it. And the one who won, it's that Blue Jay that I have that I've done 12 stitches in. She had it done. It looked beautiful. So, you know, she actually, 3 purples this year. So, you know, awesome for her. But so maybe next year I'll get one if I do the cookies. I'll do 6 cookies. I'm going to do 6 cookies of the pressed cookies kind. Again, those were things I did for my mother. So it's a good memory for me. And I might also do some sugar cookies, just some collection of cookies, either bees or something. I'm not sure. So that's my thought for next year. My quilt. Now, I think I told you in a prior video that I thought this quilt would get third place. The reason, and they gave a nice thing, okay? Says here, under piecing, it says, window frame machine, a cute design, be more consistent with binding. So, I mean, you can see right here, my binding is not consistent in size. Granted, that's the back, but even on the front, you can see a few places where it's not consistent. I'm fine with that comment. Says, try to be more consistent with the length of your hand quilting. Now, see, actually on the Blue Jay here, I'm pretty good there. But over here on the owl, it's very inconsistent. Again, good comment. Something for me to work for. And then it said, overall, the birds are cute. Now, it was interesting. They had a whole second piece of paper to do with hand embroidery. And all it said was fun hand embroidery. It didn't say if it was there could have been marks here for excellent, very good, needs improvement. It was fine. I do appreciate the comments. I knew it was going to get third place, even though I didn't know how many people out there. I just kind of looked at it and went, it'll get third place, which it did. It's just funny. So that's the quilt. And then the piece that took me forever, the dog. This went in the category called dolls and toys, because they have a specific thing called an embroidered animal. And this is my dog. Now, okay, the person who beat me did a little bear. It was gorgeous. It had little itty bitty rosettes done in ribbon embroidery. See, here's some ribbon embroidery here that I did on mine. All of theirs was all ribbon embroidery, and it was microscopic and gorgeous. So I was working on this thing right up till the end. I was they gave me good comments too. It says, love the embroidery. Could see some stitching, some were put together. Yeah, you can see some construction stitches right there, because I was throwing this together. Well, I'd put together, and then I realized that the yellow ear was on the yellow side, the pink ear was on the pink side, so the ribbon of hiding hid things. But but I got it together, and when I do my next one, which will be a bear, I have learned so much from this one. My bear will be much better. And of course, it was the morning of the fair, and the nose was bothering me, and I had embroidered it, and it was at the wrong place, and I tried something else, and at the last minute, I'm throwing a button on. I love how the button worked out. In fact, I'm going to do a video, I think, entirely on him. We'll see. So, like I said, leading up to the fair, food poisoning and allergic reaction, so that I only remembered I had these 4 items. After the fair was over, and I came back to my room and was straightening everything up, because I'm sure the cutting table looks special right now, but it was really all over the place. I realized I forgot to put some things in. I forgot to put in the thing I had worked on during the fair last year. It wasn't framed. I forgot to put my dragon in because it wasn't framed. And this one got framed, but I put it up on the wall. Unlike last year, when I entered my 57 items, I had a box. I have a box already now, because as soon as I get these 2 things framed, I'll put them in the box, and that way they'll be there for next year. I'm going to put this in the box, and I'll be getting going for next year. So it's funny, the 2 people who run the hand embroidery division were saying, you didn't put enough in this year. Because last year I put in like 20 items, and this year I put in like 2. And they said, we're down 20 items. Well, 3 of them are right here. It's okay. It's all good. The fair is a lot of good fun. I enjoy. I think it's an opportunity to present, and it's not about me really beating other people. It's about me improving my skills. I've gone to some judges courses. I have a good time. I hope all of you take the opportunity to go to your local fair and to see people and what they've done. Oh, scavenger hunt. So there's a scavenger hunt at the fair, and my quilt was actually the answer to 2 of the pieces of the scavenger hunt, because they said look for an owl, I think they said look for a blue jay. I was like, I got a twofer. So that's a kind of fun bonus to be part of the scavenger hunt in a way. I liked that, and what have you. So I have already started working on other things. I'm working on this for a friend. No pattern. It's going to say home is where the cats are. And then as part of the fair, you do demonstrations. In part what you're doing is making sure nobody messes with things that are on display. But you also demonstrate what you do so that people come up and they say, what are you doing? And you talk to them, and then you get them to hopefully participate next year. So I'm working on this owl. So I started the owl at the fair because I didn't work on cross stitch because it's smaller and requires more thought. This was bigger, and I even had a pamphlet, which hopefully I didn't leave there. I have to check my bag. I hope I didn't leave my pamphlet there. If I did, that's life. But I was working at the back table, demonstrating, talking about my owl, and encouraging people to do the scavenger hunt, which was a lot of fun. I like to get involved with that. And I really had a good time at the fair. I hope that you all went and had a good time at the fair. I hope you enjoyed my fair update, which is supposed to be a floss tube, which is supposed to be a quilt tube. Oh, okay. So the reason why I don't think I really do floss tubes, I do more of prep for fair and after fair, and that takes the whole year, is because I don't always have haul and kindness and great updates and what have you, because a lot of the ones that I watch, they complete a project every month, and I don't have the time to do that yet. But having said that, I have started my next quilt. I'm going to be quilting hexagons, and I did buy these magic pins that you can iron over. Man, they're sharp. I don't think I'm going to use those. I saw somebody who did online who just folded it and sewed it right at their machine. I'm going to go back to using the clips. I like the clips very much so. I did, however, buy myself some brown variegated thread at Joann's today. I successfully didn't buy a lot of other stuff, even though I really thought about it. So that is my new quilting project, is I'm going to be working on my hexie quilt. I've got my new needlepoint project. I've got my new cross stitch project. And I have an owl similar to this on order so I can have my new embroidery project. Because you got to have one of everything, right? No, there's no baker dozen for cross stitch. There is a busy hand award, which I got last year, so I can't get for 5 years, which is a relief. I'm good with that. I do plan on it for the 80th anniversary when I could get another big ribbon, and then I could get a big ribbon I hope to do for the 80th. I think I will do both the baker's dozen and try and go for the busy hand award again, because that would be fun, I think. But I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a good day. Bye!